permission granted. I did not fathom how much I thought I would need that. I mentioned it in a previous video where I was kind of saying, I'm surprised that I felt that, maybe it was like a childhood training that I just still stayed stuck there in that area of needing permission to step into some things. But I'm talking to this amazing girl, Mariah Jean, that Julie recommended me to. And she's incredible. She's really good at kind of laser pinpointing areas of belief or like the direction you're going and how to streamline it and connect to your full identity and purpose. She's really cool. But she happened to mention that exact thing where a lot of people, so it's not just me, have felt they need permission or recognition or affirmation, like, here's where you're called, step into it, and here's your place, here's exactly what it looks like, here's your expectations, now you're free to be all that you have felt God has called you to be. Well, as we all know, it's very rare that it's that clear cut and that something opens up to where someone other than yourself knows that exact calling that God has or the dreams inside of you. You actually have to step into it. And that takes some boldness and courage and risk, because you might fail. It might look way different than you thought. It might not work according to your plan, etc. Something else that I faced a lot was running into that orphan spirit, and I'm sure many of you can relate to that. And for me, one of the areas I wanted to talk about is that orphan mentality that says there's not enough for everyone. So when I would see other people stepping into something that I know I'm called to, then I would be like, oh no, I missed my chance. Oh shoot, they already, okay, I guess that's it. I'll do something else. And it's just ridiculous because there are 7 billion people plus, and each of us has a sphere that we're supposed to reach. So we are all needed for the sphere that we are in. And that orphan mentality tends to do that. There's not enough pie for everyone. I've got to grab it now or I'm going to miss out. Fear of missing out, FOMO. That's another nasty one that has tried to force me into forcing my way into something that it wasn't time yet. But my friend Heather was talking about helping out at a camp, and some of the children are foster children, and of course foster children have an orphan mentality at first because they've seen that there's not enough sometimes, or they've seen that they have to fight for their identity, etc. So she gave just this excellent example that I thought of where she's affirming each one about how amazing they are. And as she would say to this one, you are so full of joy and you just make everyone laugh and you're so fun. This other one says, what, I'm not fun? I'm not full of grace? And I just was like, it made me giggle because that's how silly we are sometimes. Just because another person is being called up and called out and affirmed and loved on, it does not take anything away from how much love you receive from the Father, how much your identity matters, your position, whatever you're called to matters, and you will be positioned correctly in the right time with the right people. But you just remain connected to the heart of the Father who says, I see you, I got you. You will not be looked over. You will not be looked over. And it was very interesting because I was reminded of another Heather story, a Heather I met years ago who was saying, when you have a vision for something, you actually need to champion that vision. If, for example, you wanted to start a dance team in your church, But the pastor's not going to be all excited about dance necessarily. It's not his vision or her vision. You have to bring the vision. You have to promote it, fight for it, believe in it, cast the vision. And that can be so risky and scary. And timing is key. We don't want to just force our vision on someone. But that vision is real. It's our baby. It's precious. It's sensitive. It's tender. It's raw. And it can be frustrating and detrimental if you share it with the wrong people at the wrong time. You can get it trampled on and stolen from you, ridiculed. Even a funny sideways glance can make you feel like, okay, never mind, that was a bad idea. Depending on how sensitive you are. I'm pretty sensitive. What I thought was really funny was like, okay, Lord, I thought of 2 Heather stories as examples. So what does Heather mean? I look it up, and it's evergreen flowering plant. And I just got several words this last weekend about being a plant, a flower blooming, just ready to go, stepping into the fullness of so much favor, open doors, and I'm just like, God, you're the best. You're the best. And I share these little things too, just like, that's how God speaks to us, in those little things, those little, wait, that stood out. That caught my ear. What was that? So as I was talking to Mariah, this amazing consultant, I, of course, because it's process, it's okay, it's process, reminding myself it's process. I'm never going to arrive and be all perfectly together. Probably never. Something came up where I realized one of my other big difficult things in needing permission, which I thought I didn't need anymore, but is then you put too much say in someone else's hands, when truly what God puts in your heart can only fully be stewarded and understood by you and God. And that's not to say that it's up to you and God alone to make this happen and no one understands me and they just have to get over it. That's obviously an unhealed response. But a lot of people maybe will not feel as excited as you are about your dream or your vision or what God has called you into, but you still get to step into it. You still can celebrate and rejoice. And as you step into it, you'll be amazed. People just begin to come alongside, and they do champion you and they do want you to succeed. And we all want to be in that place where we're out of that orphan mentality of comparison and competition and who's better and who's more talented and who's more anointed and all of those silly things. And we can truly become like a healthy family that says, oh my gosh, Mariah is amazing. She's so smart. She's so talented. She's just stepping into her identity and her calling. That is awesome. And we could just cheer each other on instead of like, oh man, that's what I was supposed to do. So let's run this race together and remember to cheer each other on, because it's so easy to get discouraged and to just fall into all the negative naysaying. Oh, so I was talking to the Lord after that consultant time with Mariah, and I heard this song, Don't Speak by No Doubt. It just popped in my head. I hadn't thought of that song forever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is interesting. So I look up the lyrics and okay, it's don't speak. Literally, can't get more blunt than that. Don't speak, Jessica. Don't speak. That's the voice of my inner critic, but that's also been the voice of a lot of places that I've been where it feels like the enemy just doesn't want me to share. Then the Lord highlighted The band was called No Doubt. So God was basically saying, Jessica, no doubt. You just can't even let doubt in. Don't even consider the thoughts. The lyrics, don't speak. I know what you're going to say, and it hurts me, and I don't want to hear it. That's what I get to say to that voice that says, don't speak. Who do you think you are? What do you have to say? Why does it matter? Just shh, don't talk, don't speak. And I get to be like, no more. I am speaking.